well, welcome to another edition of the Jacques Talk podcast, and it is my pleasure right now to be joined by a guy who we've been covering for a long time, from Plaquemine High School to the LSU Tigers, now in the NFL, Davon Godchaux, who is now a New England Patriot. Davon, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Jacques?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome, man. It feels good to wake up in Foxborough this morning. It's a pretty good feeling, come a long ways, from Plaquemine, Louisiana. Plaquemine High School, played at LSU for 3 years, got drafted by the Miami Dolphins, and, signed as play 4 years with Miami and got signed as a free agent with New England Patriots. Kind of feels bittersweet, you're going towards, somebody in the division, somebody who's been watching you for 4 years in a row. So, it's kind of, somebody who knows your game and, arguably, the best coach of all time.
Yeah, Davon, I know you make this decision because it's a football decision, not because you want to sit by the beach. You can sit by the beach when you retire after a great career, right? But so South Beach, that's like one of the best places in the world in terms of
100%.
City. But now you're joining the Patriots, and certainly they're kind of like LSU. They had a year last year they didn't like. They're looking to bounce back. They've got a new kind of energy to them, right?
Yeah, facts. When you go out and sign, big-time guys in free agency, like, Coach Belichick did, I think, it's just, showing that, what this football program is all about, and, like, they're ready to get back on track. And, like, that's what, I can, hopefully, I can help them get back on track, with my style, with my play, and with my efforts.
Jalen Mills, he had green hair in Philadelphia. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and you guys signed on the same day, I believe. Two former LSU Tigers joining the Patriots the same day.
Yeah, I got a chance to see Jalen down here. That was awesome. I haven't seen Jalen in a minute, but to get to play with him again and get to get that energy from him, that swag from him, and along with a lot of guys who signed too. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be it's a great feeling. Like I said, to play just to play in the NFL. Period. It's a great feeling just to be in this business. But once you get to play alongside guys you played in college with, that makes it more amazing.
Now, right now, as I'm talking to Davon, he's got a hoodie on, and of course, he is joining the hoodie, Bill Belichick, the GOAT of NFL coaches, right? Any interaction with him so far? What's been his words to you as you join the team?
I think he's the, arguably the best coach of all time. So it's going to be, great, chopping it up with him, get to pick his brain, get to pick his techniques and things like that. So I look forward to it on Tuesday.
Cam Newton, of course, the famous battle with LSU in 2010 in Jordan-Hare Stadium. He got the better of LSU that day, and the great Patrick Peterson. They're bringing him back. Talk to Cam yet?
No, I haven't talked to Cam. I'm excited. Like I said, a lot of guys not really, up here, due to like off-season, things, probably back home training and whatever that is. But I'm excited to get, just talk to all the guys, man. Just talk to, guys like Cam, Coach Belichick, just to, pick those guys' brains. Cam been in the league for a long time, had a lot of success in this league. So I'm just excited to talk to those guys and just to pick their brain and, just see some things that I can, improve my game on, just to improve me as, as a, mental standpoint, as a physical standpoint, as a, as a great teammate too also.
So I see on your Twitter, you put a picture of your bicep, right? And so you had the bicep injury, you're recovering. So you feeling good now? You're recovering
100%. I'm 100%.
Awesome.
I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to go.
So here's an interesting topic, Davon Godchaux. So people say to keep up with the team in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, LSU needs to do a better job of not letting guys go to the NFL draft who are not first or second round draft picks. If you're a fifth or sixth round draft pick, you need to come back. You were a fifth round draft pick. You got into the workforce, so to speak. Yeah. You had 4 years with the Dolphins, and now obviously you're going to keep playing for a while, a new contract. Looking back on it, it's still the best thing for you?
Yeah, I don't regret anything. I think if I can do it tomorrow, I'd do the same thing, I had, I feel like, if you know me and if you watch me play and if you know ball, I wasn't a fifth round draft pick. I had, off the field issue in college, but I wasn't a fifth round draft pick. So I don't really care like what people say. That's their own opinion. Everybody has opinions. They're entitled to their own opinion. So, but I feel like if you know me and when I got to the Dolphins, like just me talking to the Dolphins front office, like they know they got to steal in the fifth round. So I don't really care, like what people say. I feel like in that situation, you can never judge nobody's family standpoint. So like if you're gonna, I know in college, you can't take money, whatever, but you can't judge nobody's standpoint as in, hey, come back to college and, stay, but they might be in need of money. And at that moment when I left, I feel like I was ready as a maturity standpoint. I was ready to go. Like I feel like I was ready to go as a maturity standpoint. I knew my game always translates to the NFL, but I feel like as a maturity standpoint, I was ready to go to the league. So I mean, I feel like once I made that jump, I was all in. I didn't regret nothing. I was all in, like I said. I mean, so I mean, I get what they're saying. I mean, like Tuscaloosa. I mean, you can't, try to compare to that program and to Baton Rouge. I mean, Nick Saban has his own way of doing things. Coach Ed Orgeron has his own way of doing things. But both coaches had success in this league, which is the SEC. But I feel like, I mean, if a guy's ready to go, then the guy's ready to go. I feel like no hold against him that he's a fifth or fourth round draft pick. He shouldn't go. He should come back and stay. You never know nobody's family financial standpoint. So I mean, you can't. Everybody's standpoint is different. You never could judge somebody because everybody's different.
Yeah, and you had a knee injury already at Plaquemine, a very
I had a knee
serious
injury
knee
my
injury.
senior year of high school. Came to LSU. I started my fourth game of the season, and from that standpoint on, I started as an LSU Tiger as a freshman. But I mean, I feel like I said, I mean, that didn't hinder me. I came in as a, the odds was, I feel like, against me coming out of high school with a knee injury. Came back to LSU, played. I didn't even wear a brace my freshman year. I didn't even wear a brace on my knee. I mean, I came back. They was like, man, you crazy. You just had a serious knee injury. And like, yeah, I'm not wearing a brace. I feel good. So, I mean, once I gained that confidence, got some games in me, got my feet wet, I feel like it was over after that. And, I feel like, my second year at LSU, we had a really good defense. My third year, we had a really strong defense. Like my third year was like, the Kendall Beckwith, Jamal Adams, we had Tre'Davious White. We had a strong defense. I could go on and name them, but I mean, we had a strong defense. And I feel like, that year was, my peaking year. That was the year I had my best, my best film, my best technique. And I feel like, it was time for me to go because it's a maturity standpoint. I was ready to hit the next level.
Since you brought it up, I had it here in my notes. I was going to go over it with you, but I might as well just do it right now. So, in the Citrus Bowl against Louisville and the Heisman Trophy winning Lamar Jackson at quarterback, LSU's defensive starters that day were Jamal Adams, Arden Key, Greg Gilmore, Dwayne Thomas, Coach Dwayne Thomas, Donnie Alexander, Duke Riley, John Battle, Davon Godchaux, Lewis Neal, Dante Jackson, and Tre'Davious White. Not to mention some guy named Devin White, who I think came off the bench that day. How about that for a defensive stockpile?
Yeah, that's a great, like most of those guys in the NFL, the guys who are not, they still had, good college careers. But, I think, like I say, like, I mean, LSU's the pipeline of NFL, I mean, to people all the time in the lead, I'm like, man, like, we just breed NFL talent. Like, people are like, man, all you want to do is talk about LSU. I'm like, hey, man, it's proven. It's facts, man. It's facts. So, I mean, I feel like, a lot of guys at LSU might not have, you see it all the time, might not have great college careers, but they have a great NFL career. Because a lot of guys are, some guys are better college players than NFL players. Some guys are better NFL players than college players. It works hand in hand. I mean, you'll find rarely some guy, have success in both.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like it's just all about them graduating to the next level. I mean, but I just feel that that team or that defense against Louisville, man, that was amazing. I remember getting after Lamar Jackson, sacking him. I remember, man. I remember like us seeing it. Seeing it like when they played Clemson. Them at Clemson was kind of in the high scoring game that year. When they had Deshaun Watson, but I feel like that. That was one of the best defenses that we had.
What are your best games? I mean, you went out on top that day. You had a big afternoon.
Yeah. I just feel like we dominated up front. I told the guys, Greg Gilmore, all the guys, Christian Lockett, I said, none of us win this game. We got to dominate this line of scrimmage. And we dominated the line of scrimmage against Louisville. We dominated Lamar Jackson. And it was an amazing afternoon. I mean, like, and that's it, I went out on a positive note at LSU.
Yeah, and I was talking too with some of your former teammates. It's crazy in back-to-back years. You played Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson in back-to-back bowl games. Won both of them decisive.
Yeah, I had a chance to sack both of them. I had a chance to sack both of them. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that was amazing. Playing him. I never knew he was going to be a top 10 pick, but I mean, you could see the intangibles. He slung one down. I think Tre'Davious White was guarding Jakeem Grant, and he slung one down with a lefty. I'm like, man, this kid got a cannon on him. I'm just like looking like just fascinating. Like, man, I mean, who is this kid? He a lefty too. So I mean, but I didn't know he was going to be top 10 pick. I didn't know he was going to be Patrick Mahomes. He is now. $500 million. I didn't know he was going to be that guy. But I mean, hey, I mean, the Chiefs saw some options that I didn't see. So I mean, they drafted him, and he took off from there.
Well, Davon, their reputation at the time was they created stat machines, right? I mean, you played quarterback at Texas Tech, you put up big stats, you weren't necessarily going to be a good pro, and so
Yeah,
he broke that mold for sure.
facts. He absolutely did.
So, how do you look back on your LSU career? You won probably three times as many games as you lost. You had some
Mm-hmm.
good times there, but then certainly a couple years after, the dream team
Yeah,
comes along in 2019 and all that.
yeah. I mean, I feel like you always feel like like you could have did better, but I mean, I don't regret anything that happened. I just feel like like I wish we'd have won more. Like championships. I just feel like I wish we'd have won like on the big stage, like the Joe Burrow stage. Like seeing that, man, was bittersweet. Seeing those guys in New Orleans, winning against Clemson, man, that was seeing those guys win it was kind of like bittersweet. But I mean, that was great, man. I just wish we had one more championship. So I mean, I feel like we would have did that. Then I'd feel like I accomplished a lot more at that stage. But I feel like LSU will be back on top this year. Like in this league, in the college league, any league you play in, man, if you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing. I think that too, Jacques. You've been covering this for a long time. If you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing. So I don't care how good your defense is, how good your O-line is. If you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing. So I mean, especially in this league, the NFL, no quarterback, you have no chance to win the game. So I feel like with that being said, I mean, uh, I think LSU has a great chance this year. You bring it back. Whoever's the starter is going to be Miles Brennan. Whoever the starter is going to be. I mean, I don't know. I don't get into it that much, but I mean, whoever's going to be, they have some type of game experience. Whether it's
Yeah.
T.J. Finley, whether it's Max Johnson kid. They have some type of game experience. Whoever that's quarterback's going to be. So I feel like this year is no excuse to like not get the ball rolling early to get off to a great start. You have a lot of guys who came back, didn't really have NFL draft grades who came back and it's going to be on that defense, going to be on that offense. The O-line is going to be stacked just like last year. The guys coming back, so I feel like guys have that game experience now. Like it's no excuse. It's time to roll. I mean, of course, everybody knows the game they want to see is LSU versus Alabama. Everybody wants to see that game. Everybody wants to see. Okay, let's see how for real LSU is if they can beat Alabama. So I mean, I feel like I mean, that's going to be that's always the best game to see every year, especially, last year when Joe Burrow was there, when you had both teams was, you had Tua, you had Joe Burrow. So, I mean, that's the game everybody want to see. So, but like I said, I mean, just take one game at a time, man. I mean, it's not, it's going to be ups and downs, it's going to be bad moments in the game, but don't let those bad moments hinder you from doing other things bad in the game. Just, kind of take that composure, take that adversity and just, move forward from it and learn from it and don't dwell on it because you're in the game. Because I feel like once you dwell on a bad play in the game, it gets to you the next play. No matter what you say, if you still think about that play, it's going to get to you. Learn from it and move on. I don't, sit back and, let it sit on you and let it, make you down about the next play. But I feel like, they have a great shot, because I'm saying like, you have whichever quarterback you're going to play. I don't know who that is, but they have game experience. And you have a
Yeah.
defense that's coming back, that's bringing almost everybody back. You have an O-line, and you have a D-line that has a lot of experience. These guys played last year, got their feet wet as freshmen. So you have no excuses here.
Tell me about Andre Carter. So we see some video at practice the other day. He looks
Yeah.
like the most ready to play guy out there.
I was telling people all the time. He's been in Miami. You take your shirt off. He's been in Miami. You take your shirt off and run around the facility, like just run around it like a neighborhood, like just exercising and stuff like that. Man, he still can play. But I mean, you're gonna get a guy who's gonna expect a lot of his players. He wasn't my head D-line coach at Miami, but he was the assistant. He gonna expect a lot out of his players. You're gonna be ready to go full go. You're just gonna get a hard grinding guy who's gonna just do the most to make sure his players succeed on and off the field.
Yeah. And I would imagine Coach O, he's going to be very hungry to bounce back after last year as well. I mean, he was in your face, I'm sure, when you were there coaching you, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't, Coach O's not gonna, he's not gonna have that going again this year. I mean, I'm a strong believer in that. I just know the type of guy he is. I know how he's wired, so I mean, I don't expect that. I mean, like I said, they have quarterback experience now, so I expect them guys to be ready to go.
All right, a couple more things before I let you go there. So And Davon, I feel like I've covered like 3 guys in the last decade who had crazy seasons at LSU, like off the charts. Okay, so there was Tyrone Matthew in 2011. He was a Heisman Trophy finalist. Obviously, Joe Burrow in 2019, winning the Heisman. You played with Leonard Fournette in 2015. To me, that was one of the most outstanding seasons I've ever seen. What was it like to be on the team with him that year when he was putting up all those huge numbers running? And then did you have any happiness for him winning a Super Bowl this year?
Man, Leonard was different. He was different. He was special, man. He was, just seeing a guy like that, 230, however much you weigh, 225, run like a freak train, can move, can, got quick feet. It was special seeing a guy like that. You know, arguably probably, not, one of the greatest running backs played at LSU, if not the greatest. So he was, he was a freak train, man. I mean, but it was amazing to see him in practice. Just me as D line, we got to get after him early before you get to that second level. Because once you get to that second level, get that momentum going, it can be deadly. It can be deadly. It can be deadly for those DBs back there. It can be
You got any
deadly.
funny? You got any funny stories of like banging heads with former LSU Tigers in the NFL, or playing against guys, or seeing?
Uh, I mean, not I had a chance to get after Leonard a little bit. When he was in Jacksonville, but I mean, nothing like we didn't. Had a chance to play Ethan Posick this year with Seattle. But I mean, Damian Lewis had a chance to play him.
Yeah.
Young Pup had a chance to play him this year. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you got a couple guys, played against Davius White, Jamal Adams. But I mean, we always, talk smack, But after after the game, it's all love. It's all, man, congratulations, stay healthy, things like that. But it's always, just competing at the highest level, man.
All right. Plaquemine. What do you remember about Plaquemine? What were the great memories of being a Plaquemine Greendale for Paul DeStefano at Plaquemine?
Coach D, man. Coach D's a great one. I feel like my senior year, I still say this. If I never got hurt in Plaquemine my senior year, we'd have won state. I don't care what nobody says. We had Julius Marceline back there carrying that rock. Had like 2,000 rushing yards that year. We had some great guys, man. We had a lot of talent that year. We had a lot of talent. I feel like I honestly believe this, Jacques. My senior year, but I've never been hurt because we went to New Orleans in the quarterfinals and lost to Landry Walker. Seriously believe, and it was a close game like that. Like, they didn't blew us out, but I seriously believe if I never got hurt that year, I feel like Plaquemine would have won state. Seriously believe that.
There you go.
I'm a strong believer in that one.
I remember that. I remember that game.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker. Like right at the
Yeah,
end.
I honestly believe if I never got hurt, Jacques, we'd have won because I would have wrecked that game. I would have wrecked that game just on the defensive side. I would have wrecked that game. I honestly believe if I never got hurt, would have won state that year.
Red zone, line you up at running back, maybe get some carries. I mean,
of course, of course.
Well, look, congratulations on signing with the Patriots and everything,
I
and
appreciate
this
it,
new
Jacques.
opportunity for you. It's going to be a lot colder than South Beach. We know that, but you're joining the culture, the Patriots way, right?
Hey, man, just do the right thing. Do your job.
Do your job.
Yeah.
All right, Davon. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate
doing
it.
this.